We're going to have fun today. Now we're going to put all this together. I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Erock for giving me a very beautiful puzzle. It's challenging. I'm trying to do the big ring in the middle of the puzzle and then work on the part that says Greenville, South Carolina. It's funny, when I was a kid, puzzles were so easy, but I think they're harder now. My day's good, Donita. Thank you. Today's the last day of an overextended, I won't call it a vacation, but a struggle. Tomorrow I go back into a new workplace and a new schedule, and thank the Lord. I want to talk about real talk with Jordan Riley because others are commenting on him. This guy is to be avoided. I never tell people what they can and cannot watch. You can watch whatever you want. You can subscribe to whatever you want. But if you want to have accurate Bible teaching, I would be very, very careful about getting too deep with Jordan. Jordan wears a ball cap on backwards, kind of looks gangsta. He's attacking everybody. He's attacking Stanley. He's attacking Charlie Kirk, and he's doing it again, saying he's deceived millions. Now, I have talked about preachers over the years. I've talked about the money that they make. Charles Stanley, I've never criticized him as erroneous. Okay? I have never criticized Billy Graham as erroneous. I had a problem with Billy Graham getting involved with some of the ECT movement in the 90s. But Billy Graham, the books he wrote, and when I heard him preach at his crusades, biblically spot on. Hello, Tony. We're going to talk about real talk and little boys that are not men. My manhood was in question this morning by a viewer who joined with us in the chat on a regular basis, and I spoke in a 3-minute video, and I did a short with a baby crying, because enough is enough. Jordan Riley seems to imply that if you don't have good works at all, you're not saved. The Bible says we are not saved of works lest any man should boast. And what you see with Mr. Riley is a very boastful, very sensationalistic. He's got big titles. I've watched several people just while I was working on a puzzle on YouTube that proved he was lying. Lied even about a channel by the name of Brian or Brylan. That guy seems to be pretty centered biblically. When you have a guy that's blasting every Christian out there except himself, and then what I always do is you read the channel. Because trust me, that don't happen on mine. You do not see everybody praising Michael. Some, but I get a lot of attack here for my dressing, for everything. Jordan is just endless, lavish. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Thank you for telling us this. You got to watch that stuff, folks. That's hero worship. Powerpuff Princess, how are you? Etc. means and more. Hello, Nikki, how are you? That means I'm not limited to just the 2 issues in the headline. Jordan Riley is not right. He makes $62,000 a year on his YouTube. That's a lot of money, calling it his ministry. I am not against somebody making money off their YouTube channel, but he's presenting himself as the authority and the Bible answer man. Michael has never presented himself as the authority or the Bible answer man. What I have told you the Bible says, I believe I'm accurate and I'm right on. my views about Israel, the rapture, Genesis, creationism, salvation is right on. Where people have a problem with me is the way I dress feminine. And they quote Deuteronomy 22:5. Michael does not advocate and has never advocated false teaching. I've been very bold about my stance against the lies from the Democrat left, the lies from Pelosi, Crockett, AOC, all of them. I talk about current events. And I believe my channel is a unique spot in the YouTube genre. There's no way I can compete with the big boys. That's not even what I'm trying to do. I am extremely small potatoes. And there are people that listen to me, and I always try to make sure that I steer them correctly. I've also gone as far as to say that nobody has to agree with my style of fashion. I get that. I allow people, it's in the 70s today. It's cloudy. I don't think we're going to get any of that crap going on in the Atlantic. They keep shifting it, and it looks like it's not even going to hit us. But you have to be careful on YouTube. You got to consult your Bible. But the problem I have with Jordan Riley is he's blasting Charlie Kirk. What I've seen from Charlie Kirk's videos, I have never seen him say blasphemy. I've never seen him teach stuff that is doctrinally inaccurate. I've seen him comment on political issues. The whole gay and so-called trans. Because I'm going somewhere else. We're not going to do trans no more. We're not talking about trans. You cannot transition from a man into a woman or from a woman into a man. That is a lie, so we're not going to call it that. I have said on here, I have a feminine side. Now the Bible talks about effeminate, and it's not in a positive light. I may well be guilty of that. And the reason that my channel is semi-successful is because people appreciate me being honest. Hypocrisy is not something that I try to purvey here. I talk about the hypocrisy of the left. Okay, I talk about the hypocrisy of false religions. But Michael doesn't wear a mask. I'm open, I'm upfront, I tell you what I do, you see it, and people grab the video, go, wow, look. Do you see me hiding? Do you see me rationalizing it? I say, I do this. May not be pleasing to God, but I'm not going to fake my heart. And this is something I've constantly talked about. A lot of Christians are very good at that. We go to church, we pretend our marriage is good, we pretend we've got it going on with our kids, and we got everything wrapped up in a nice clean little box, and we know that's not the case. Okay? We struggle. We all struggle with temptation and sin. Some people just hide it better than others, and they're not honest about it. I didn't say etc. movement about Billy. I put etc. in the title, meaning other things, Nikki. Billy Graham, I mentioned him because Jordan Riley is attacking him and Stanley and everybody. He's actually attacking good men of God. I had a problem with Billy Graham's stance on ECT. We're not going to talk about that right now, but I don't believe and support ecumenicalism. Jordan seems to think that nobody believes the Bible the way he does. You have to be careful about teachers that claim to have an inside track, that claim to have a corner on things, and everybody else has missed it. That's how Joseph Smith got Mormonism off the ground. Okay, Joseph Smith, God came to him and said the Presbyterians, the Methodists, and the Baptists were all wrong, so start another movement. I heard people yesterday saying an attack on a Christian church. The Mormon church is not a Christian church. It is a faith-based institution, and nobody should be shooting, attacking, harming people of faith, whether I agree with them or not. America was built on the freedom of religion and the exercise thereof. I do not agree with Mormons. Somebody wrote, well, Christians hate Mormons. I said, that is incorrect, ma'am. We do not agree with Mormons, but we do not condone that kind of stuff that happened in whatever it's called. I can't even say the name of the place in Michigan. Something Blanc, Grand Blanc, strange name. The violence is rising up in America. Okay, Mormonism is not Christianity. It is not a church. It is not of Jesus Christ, and they're not Latter-day Saints. Their title is erroneous. It is deceptive. Their Hallmark commercials portraying these nice little family values is all cute. They're deceptive. They do not believe that Jesus Christ is the only God. They believe that Jesus Christ is the half-brother of Lucifer. They believe that Mary and God had sex to create Jesus. They believe in the planet Kolob. They believe that women will be eternally pregnant, just to name a few of the radical, crazy doctrines. They put no emphasis on the Bible, but they put emphasis on 3 books. Pearl of a Great Price, Doctrines and Covenants, and the Book of Mormon. All 3 of them are completely fake news. They are not of God. When I talk on my channel, I will attack false teachings. Charlie Kirk, I don't know what church he went to. I don't know what his doctrinal stance is on pre-trib rapture or this or that. But I never heard him promote false teaching. I never heard him say anything counter to the Word of God. I heard him talking about the social issues. He had the exact right stance on all of them. And when I hear Jordan Riley trying to get channel points and get donations by blasting him, that's a pimp. And I don't like it. If Jordan were to do a review of my channel, he would blow me wide open. Look at him, he's dressing like a woman. What does the Bible say about that? He would hammer me to death. That's fine. But I don't preach heresy. Okay? So, God is not done with me yet. I do some things because I like to do things. And instead of playing an act in a game, okay, I'm real and true to you and to myself, and God sees it all. Yeah. That's right, Mimi. And I don't do every single thing that reflects Christ's holiness. None of us do. I'm not using that as an excuse. But when a young man who just recently got married comes into the live streams and the chat, and he's engaging with us, and we think we're all at peace with him, and then he goes to his channel and bashes other channels, okay? And he takes one of my videos dancing like this in my little top and the girl shorts and is attacking me, and I didn't know it. My moderator, one of the moderators pulled it out and showed me, and I went after him. I went after him all the live. I said, why are you doing that? And first he lied. He said, well, I just did a remix. It promotes your channel. I said, no. That's not the case. I looked at his channel, dude. What he's doing is these channels are all successful more than his. TTF, black guy and his white wife. She does some business. They got a channel. And he decided to spotlight this couple in a kitchen. And the black guy was saying, my wife started her own business. And Mr. Tyler exists, said, You don't got no business. You're living in a monthly rental hotel, motel. Okay, so living in the motel, she's preparing sandwiches and food. You know that this couple don't have a business? No, you don't. And Tyler's just being mean, and what he's doing is he's trying to steal views from other channels. The same thing that Andrew did. And I bring him up because he would re-upload my videos. Tyler and Andrew are the same. They do not have their own content. So what he does is he rolls the video and he makes some smart alecky quip. Tyler's not talking about the issues. He's not talking about what happened to Kurt. Not talking about the false teachings. He's going after me, a Christian, who has admitted here I'm not perfect, and he's putting the boot in on me on his channel, but then coming in here and yucking it up with all of us. And that's why I called that out yesterday, and several are mad. I have 2 moderators that would like to do a video, exposing his BS, and I encourage that. And I told people, you don't have to agree with everything I do, but at least come in here and tell me that, and tell me I don't support your channel, I can't watch this anymore, okay, bye-bye. What, you need to go, bad dog. I don't know what's your problem, but that's not right. Telling Nikki to shut up will not be accepted at all. She's a lady and she's a moderator. I will not accept that. At all. I'm not going to have a grown man pull that on my channel. Hello, Hunt. I like how people come on my channel and tell me I'm wicked, I'm deceived, I'm this, I'm that. Tyler just recently got married. Where's his wife? Why is it every video he does is from the seat of a car? What's going on there? I'm not saying that you can't do a video from your car, but he's not doing anything. He just made some little stupid comment, taking there's a girl saying cucumber, and he goes, it's cucumber. Okay, I don't know if she's foreign. He has no content. And I got a problem with that. I have a problem with that. This morning we did really good, by the way. Absolutely, hon. He's out. Hello, Franny. You're drawing our aunt. Oh, right now. I have no idea, Javon. That, I will let you... As long as you don't make me look like the spaghetti monster, I'm good. The meanness, the hatred. Now, people say, are you being mean? I said in a 3-minute video regarding Mr. Tyler, you said on a video today, how come all these old men dress like women? Well, how come you came in my room and listened to this old man day after day after day and you never said anything? And since you want to play the old man game, and then you said I was demon possessed, that was nice. Well, you bet I'm going to say something. You want to question my manhood? Come on over here, we'll work side by side and we'll see who works harder. Let's arm wrestle. Bam! You're done. I mean, no, I don't fight you. I don't promote violence. But let's do man to man. I'm 59, I don't run anymore, but let's run. Boom. I will hurt myself to beat you. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I don't like that. What you did on your channel, implying that I'm not a man, I'm honest about a feminine side, You saw no man should have a feminine side. Okay? No man should behave like a little pussy like you do and do what you did on your channel and then come in here and pretend we're all good and at peace. That kind of stuff is not okay. If you had a problem, you could have written me. You could have said, I don't agree with this. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. And I have a right to question that. But if you're going to imply, because I dance in my house and I wear woman shorts or whatever, that I'm less than a man than you are, where's your wife? How come you don't have your own content? Why aren't you speaking about the issues? Why are you attacking a black man and his wife? I actually read the comments under his videos and I reported you to him on several of his videos. Just saying. Because what you did was not right. Not at all. Yep, Tyler exists. Two-faced behavior. Tyler exists. He was sitting in here almost every time we had a live stream, talking and engaging with us. We even congratulated him when he said he got married. Thank you, Donita. Hey, Moises Mendes, how are you? You know, and people have a right to their views. I'm not going to crucify somebody just because they don't agree with me, but there is a wrong way to go about it. And I don't want to harp on this, but Tyler gets the Little Boy of the Year award because that's not man. Mike, I got a problem with you dressing this way. Okay, what do you want to do about it? You wanted to stay here day after day after day and chat with all of us. Why is that? How come you didn't say anything? How come you went to your channel and uploaded my video and then smarted off about it? And then you did it again today. And the moderators told you, Bridge, Mr. E-Rock, and Mob said that what you did wasn't right. And they tried to leave comments on your channel and you blocked them, big boy. But you left my comment. Sure, you'll have people that agree with you. I already know that. But don't call yourself a man. Don't imply because I have a feminine side that I'm less a man than you are. And I said on that 3-minute video, I lost my job taking a stand. Would you lose your job taking a stand? Doubtful. Did you go through what I've gone through? Are you doing any of this? No, you're not. And I am going to compare because you forced me to. I accept people. I accept we all have flaws. I thought you were one of the gang. That hurt me, dude. That hurts me. Well, that's good, Moises. Kevin, most of us in here are Christians. There's a danger for any of us when we get on YouTube and social media platforms. We become a public figure. Tyler is, I am, Jordan Riley is, and I believe I'm being very careful about attacking other YouTube artists because we all trying to have our thing out here. From a Christian standpoint, if somebody's preaching error and attacking godly men of faith, I'm going to stand up and call that out. Real talk is real BS. Jordan Riley got the ball cap on backwards. He would come over here and judge me for the way I'm dressed. But if you're going to call yourself in the ministry, should you have the ball cap on backwards and be downing men of God and acting like gangsta and making money off of this? You're not a pastor. What is this? And this little idol worshiping, cult following, which is exactly what that is. I've told people here, don't make a cult out of me. I will let you down. Get what you can out of the channel, just like you do when you buy a truck, or you get what you can. Use what you can use. But I'm not God. Nor am I trying to be God. My uncle says it, I'm a cussing Christian, Michael. And he chuckles. Sunday we hear the preacher say, put all unwholesome talk out of your mouth. Stop the lust, stop this. He speaks the truth. But do any of us get there? My pastor did tell me he believes that sinless perfection is possible as a Christian. I love him, but I just don't believe that's possible at all. I just don't believe that. The Apostle Paul is a very unique man. He said, I have finished the race, I have fought the fight. There's laid up for me a crown of righteousness. I buffet my body, I make it my slave. There's not too many people that can claim that. Well, thank you, Moises. Mina! Oh, Mina, you need to go to sleep. You've been up this whole time. Oh my gosh, Mina, you're going to be so tired when it's your daytime. That's right, hon. Yeah, Tyler wants to get into a manhood competition. I've already beat him. And he thinks he's cute, making a slam at me behind my back. That's, well, we have a word for that. That's chicken, S-H-I-T. That's what that is. And I'm not trying to provoke him into anything. But I hope that TTF and his wife come after him for his rude remarks. Because I read the comments. You guys have been through so much. I'm glad you guys were able to start your own business. You guys have come a long way. Maybe Tyler needs to read the other comments and see that this couple's been through hell. And that bothers me. Now, I've put photos on my live streams like this when I talk about stuff. One of them is this guy who we're talking about, because they do put themselves out there. Now, I'm not going to make fun of somebody's channel and say, oh, they're living in a motel. Yeah, you know what? I thank God I don't live in a motel. I thank God I don't live under a bridge. And why is somebody making fun of that? And you think that you're an expert on whether she has a business or not? Obviously, Tyler doesn't know how much rent is in some American cities. Some people can't afford the dang rent, but they make enough 1 week to another to cover a motel room. Some apartments want first, last deposit. It's ridiculous. You're looking at $4,000 just to get into a building. I don't know this couple, and I said, you might want to be tipped off. This guy's making fun of you. Sad. Oh, okay, Mina. Hey, thank you. I miss you too, and you have a good sleep, and thanks for talking to me today. You are awesome, Mina. Mina Sangita. Thank you, Moises. Today I got a couple of small things done today. My aloe vera was out of control in the pot. Some of it dead. It was leaning over, and I took the pot, pulled it all out, chopped up the soil, had a lot of Miracle Grow, and I cleaned it up, and I kept the good stuff and threw the rest. What a waste, I know, but it was out of control. I haven't been good about cultivating. And all my depression, I kept looking at my plant. I had 3 beautiful plants back there with the aloe vera. And I had one, I watered it, but it was too fragile. It lasted less than a year. After Helene, it bit the dust. And I had to throw it out. It was just not an easy plant to maintain. Moises, are you male or female? Mina, you sleep good, and I will see you later. Yeah, male, I don't date men, so let's be aware of that. I'm not into men, okay? I appreciate the compliments, but Michael's into women. I like Mina. Mina's a good, pretty lady. So I did some sweeping, cleaned the bathroom real good. You know, even scrub the outside of the bowl. I don't miss. I sit down when I do my business, but you know, dust and everything, and I swept and did a bleach mop. I love it because it makes the place smell fresh. And I know the bleach kills any germs, so. Oh yeah, I had to because I took that soil, had to break it up. Oh, Tyler? Yeah, I don't know his age. He said he just got married. His wife's not on his channel. I kind of want to know why. If I married a woman and she's with me, I would definitely bring her on here and show her to everybody. Absolutely. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, I wanted to show something else. Facebook there's these companies that want to come in and redo your bathroom. And the one on the left is a regular, bathroom. The one on the right is what they'll do to it if you pay them $15,000 to come in and tear all that up. Being that I've worked on my house myself, and I was struggling with this house, I said, I can't afford to do the one on the right. And I'm sure when people, if I ever go to move, they're going to criticize this house not being updated, the way that new. And I'm actually finding out that people that come in here said, oh, I like this better. It's got character. That bathroom on the left, if this was the way the bathroom looked in my house, that big tub and that paint, there's nothing wrong with that bathroom. Nice clean window. Why would you tear that out and spend $15,000 for that? It's the same room. All that is plastic back there. That's not marble. Thank you, Ofer. Hello, dirty old man. Hello, Lynn. 15,000. Well, I don't know what kind of a woman he married. I just think it's funny. You still got time to get on YouTube and smart off to me. You just got married. What's going on here? And I'll ask him the question. You living with your girlfriend before you married her? Did you poonge her? Well, that's sin. So you want to judge me for dressing girly? What about the immorality, bro? Me wearing girl pants, I'm not having sex with them. Just saying. And this is why I do what I do, because when I got saved, the first thing I noticed was the mentally ill behavior, sometimes of God's people. The crazy way they judge all this and ignore all this. I don't get it. He might be. Thank you, Dirty. I appreciate that. Donita, what I did is I dumped the whole bag of Miracle Grow in those pots. The only problem was the aloe vera became monster. It just went. That stuff works. So I put a little dirt from the yard where there's no weeds growing in the smaller pot. And I put potting soil in there. And I try not to use backyard dirt because there's all this crap that grows in there. Hello, blue dust. And then suddenly I got weeds sprouting in the pot. Out here you got to be careful you don't bring outdoor bugs into the house with the dirt. Yeah, but you know what? I'm not gayophobic, and that color pink, people think that's gay. If I bought the house and looked like that, I may change that color, but I'm looking at the walls, they look good. I'd be like, that's a decent bathroom. Leave it alone. What I might do for me is I might change that to a light blue, something more ocean. But $15,000 for the one on the right, plastic fake stone panels. Why? I just don't understand all that. Hey, Demorph. Dirty, I try to be smart about things. There's a risk when you do what I do. I'm not a polished YouTube man. I'm not a polished man. I make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. But I've noticed something, and I've noticed it even more as of late. The people that are attacking lately are channels that are about that big. They have zero content. They come on making dumb comments. And I just go back and I said, let's see. You have what? 10 subs? 2 videos? I don't see any content here. Why are you coming over and jumping on me? Did you look at the numbers over here? The video I just did this morning racked up 12,000 views. That's pretty good. I was just commenting to Noodles last night. I said the views are dropping. And other people are telling me that on their own channels. And then this morning we belted out at 12,000. That's good. But, I try to leave people alone. Hold on, we need to take a station break. Nancy Pelosi is going to come through with a quick commercial for you. She has something important to say. Sorry, I'm being very facetious here. I'm not going to speak highly of those individuals in D.C. that are running their mouth, especially when they talked horribly about Charlie Kirk. And that specifically was Ilhan Omar, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. Those 3 women are racist and they're race baiters. They're race baiters, and I have no respect for those women. And that, my friends, is the back 40. We are actually in the fall now. We have to be careful. We get all of our information on the internet now. Not everything that's posted on the internet is safe. You have to use discretion. You have to use discernment. Years ago, when I became a Christian, there were names I looked for when it came to Christian resources. Moody Bible Institute, Dallas Theological Seminary. Things that were backed by them were solid and accurate. I read a newsletter called The Berean Call by Dave Hunt. He would talk about false teachings and stuff. And he was accurate. I subscribed to a magazine, a monthly magazine called Israel My Glory, talking about current events in Israel and a biblical perspective, and then doing study articles on a story out of the Bible that has to do with Israel. Today you get on the internet, then you got all kinds of Christians running a channel because now they're going to be the one that's going to set everybody straight. You have to be very careful because a lot of them bring their own garbage to the table, false understanding of Scripture to the table. I never played golf. I did putt-putt golf, and that was crazy. Try to get the ball underneath that windmill and get it in the hole. Good grief. I heard that too, Bobby. Mr. E-Rock, how are you? And Mr. E-Rock, I was public with what happened with Travis uploading my morning video in my room, dancing to Modern Talking again. I went over there, I thought, oh, yep, he did it, he caught the bait. I made that video on purpose. I wore the same shorts, same top. Let's go see. Yep. He's saying I was demon possessed. And why do these old men dress like women? And no man should ever have a feminine side. And he's not being a man at all. Blue Dust, I think you missed what I'm talking about. It's not about comparison, but he's saying he was putting me down, and I am comparing because people that are coming on and attacking, they're very, very, very petty. And I said, well, if I'm so bad, why are this many subs on here? You're missing the point, Blue Dust. You know, I can say what I need to say here because they're doing personal attacks on me. And I may not respond the way you think I ought to, but I'm in my body. I'm going to do what I do. I don't know why that should concern you. Yeah, you know, and I don't like that. You don't have to agree with what I'm doing. You don't. And people say, well, you've got mad when people come in. When they're being disrespectful and they're hammering and yammering, I will hide them out. Absolutely. If they keep going, okay, you're not going to change me. Why you here and why do you keep yammering about it? It was like Ellie this morning. Ellie went all morning about that issue. I'm like, gosh, Ellie, get the bone out of your mouth. And I realize not everybody's going to like every single thing I say and do. But she calmed down. I went and changed my clothes just to prove something. Then all of a sudden she's praising me. Jeez. Crazy. Demorph, yeah. But the question is, could they be friends with me? The problem with a lot of Christians, and I've been guilty of this too, there are certain lines in the sand for me that I will not be friends with somebody if they're involved in this and this activity. It's funny, as you get older, it gets harder to make friends because I get set in my ways. And there's people even here, names withheld, They'll come in here, for whatever reason, they're in here, and then they're making comments against just about anything I do. Why do they come here? I mean, if they're against this and this and this video and this video and this video, I don't understand that. When a woman comes in and flirts with me here, and then goes over to Discord, and I ask a question about age, you don't ask a woman her age. Actually, I ask anything I want. I said, may I ask you? All you had to do is say, I don't like to answer that. Cool. But nobody's going to tell me you don't. Michael does. I'm the head of my house. Hey, Toby, I didn't grow up under that. I grew up out west. When I'm in the Philippines, I've never heard a woman say, you don't ask a woman her age. I have slid in and out of cultures, and I try to be respectful. That's right. And you're going to flirt in here, and then you're going to get on Discord. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not. Bye. You have a good evening. And that'll be the last conversation. Then I left a message the other day. Hey, if you got a problem with my videos, can you stop outing me? You're going to get in trouble because you're making fun of Ilhan Omar and her religion. I didn't make fun of her religion. I found a meme that showed a beehive on her head with bees, and I did a classical music piece, Dvorak, The Flight of the Bumblebee, and I was being funny. Why? She's a public figure. She has slammed us. Hey, Denise, welcome. She has slammed us. Yeah, he made another one. I don't know if he made a second one today, but he had the one on there, and then this morning he took my short with me dancing in the little jean shorts with little holes in them and made his little quip. And that's why I did 2 comeback videos and a post. And one of the moderators said he looks very much like Tyler Robinson. I said, you know, he does. Same name too, incidentally. You know, you start to wonder just what's going through these guys' heads. You know? In your fight against something, do you start to hate? Do you start to bully? Just saying. And I don't like it when a woman flirts in the channel and leads me to believe that maybe there's an interest. And I'm not talking about anybody in here currently. And then you pull that crap. And I just sent her a message on Discord that she never responded to. I said, hey, FYI, could you please, if you have a problem with something I'm posting, can you come and tell me here? Because you keep saying you're going to get in trouble. Well, when you put that on the channel, then YouTube's going to go, what's going on over here? I mean, that don't make no sense. And I'm the head of my house. I've been at this a long time. I know what I can post and what I can't. And incidentally, that video that got me fired at work, somebody brought up a very good point. If it was so racist, why didn't YouTube pull it? Because it wasn't racist, that's why. And YouTube has struck me before. When I was under Pacific Ocean, I think I got struck twice. Trust me. YouTube would get rid of me in an instant. So I'm careful not to cross the line. Hey, Samuel, how are you? Hey, Dom, thank you. So I do things. I'm not conventional. And I'm going to comment on Blue Dust here because she said, oh, it's all about subs. No, it isn't. But if I'm going to go up and make some dumb comment, what I usually do is check their stats and look and say, there's a lot of people following this guy. Be careful how you answer. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with it. This guy's got a large following. You're going to deal with this guy, you stick to the truth. I'm not too savvy, if I can be very honest. I'm gonna put myself out here. I hope. Excuse me. The women that are currently okay. You get that stupid tickle in your throat, and then it changes your voice, and you can't talk. Stupid. I've been through enough stuff in my life, and one of my, not insecurities, but one of my triggers is when a woman is trying to dominate me, telling me what I can and cannot say and do. You guys that are here, don't do that. I believe in the value of a woman, and God can use a woman to communicate things to me. But when a woman's being bossy and trying to tell me and be snarky and then flirt and stuff, I got a problem with that. And I'm going to start calling that out. Because they feel comfortable calling out this and picking at this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. I'm not perfect, and that's not what this channel's about. People say don't hurt your testimony. Well, I'm not trying to hurt it. But if I gotta look and act and behave a certain way to fit into the box, I can't do it. I can't. Hey Dennis, how are you? There's all kinds of people that come into this channel, and I'm aware of that. But when they themselves put things in the room that makes me go, they just gave me a clue. I watched that. Well, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe in all that. So then they start picking at everything, and I'm going, well, why are you here then? That's my thing. If you got a problem with everything I say or do, but you're not even a Christian, that would be like me going to a channel that's all Mormon stuff. I'm not going to sit in there. I don't agree with Mormonism. I am not going to sit in that room. Be like, I'm out of here. You know, it's like you go into a college and you take your classes and you end up being in a basket weaving class and you didn't sign up for it. Why are you going to be in there saying, I hate basket weaving, I hate basket weaving? What'd you go in there for? Dumb. Basic common sense is lacking today. You know, it could be, Dennis. Yeah, one of these, I don't know, one of them I bought in the US and one I bought from Hong Kong. Which one is the one I bought? I think this is my Hong Kong mug here because this had the sticker on it. This did not. Yeah, this is my Hong Kong mug. In fact, I need to put this out because that sticker's looking raggedy and I need to razor blade that off. So, Mr. E-Rock, I got some headway on that puzzle today. And I thank you for that. That is very satisfying to sit down and do that. I hope to get back into a routine of some reading again and work on the puzzle. I've been bored, so I've been working the channel a lot. I just had the fan going to dry out the floors after I mopped them and didn't turn it off. You know, how do we reach people? You plant the seed of truth. Some people water it. Some people reap the harvest. Paul says that. Apollos planted, I watered, or I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. Got you. Yeah, you tell her thank you. I'm trying to do the yellow pieces, the big circle and the Greenville, South Carolina. That's harder than I thought. Then I'll go into zones. I've been doing the bridge because the bridge ties in with the part of the big circle. I don't think that I'm perfect. And I've struggled to be a man for many years. I don't think I've arrived, but I know what I've been through in the last 6 years has definitely put me more on man footing than ever before. I know, Dennis, and you see I'm doing it again today. They're claiming that this guy was a Christian. He was a war vet. There was a shooting last night in North Carolina from a boat dock and in a casino or something. I don't know if I'm mixing up the events. They claim these are war veterans. Folks, there are war veterans that snap. Supposedly, this guy that shot up the Mormon church said the Mormon church is not a Christian church. Well, it isn't. Why are you shooting it? Why were you doing that? You had a wife and a kid. What was the problem? Did he go to that church? Did somebody burn him? What caused all this? Right away they're saying this is a Trumper. I saw a video this morning where a guy claims he was not. He was a Democrat. I don't know. What you get into on YouTube is you got this channel says one thing, this says, and just like Pontius Pilate, what is truth? The people I'm going to look at is Dice, Benny Johnson, they're big names. They seem to get on things pretty quick. Now, I did not listen to Dice today. He's now kicking Israel, and I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this. Problem is these guys get popular, and they want to side with that group over there that's anti-Israeli, and talking about Trump and a TikTok ban, and that Yahoo's trying to ban TikTok. And Mina told me that the Prime Minister was trying to ban TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. The people set his house on fire the other day, or a couple weeks ago in Nepal. I said, Mina, what the hell is going on over there? I didn't even know any of this had happened. I'm so into my firing and all this other stuff. I thought it was on. I don't even think I saw, in fact, I didn't see anything in the news about that. She said, Michael, I can't get on YouTube for days because he's claiming that some of these companies owe Nepal money and they did not pay. But I'm going to say something. You got a prime minister and people are burning his house down over social media. And let's just stop right there. I don't know anything about this prime minister. Would you say you're addicted to social media, that you're going to go and kill somebody, set their home on fire because they're going to shut something down? We better be careful here, folks. We better be very, very, very careful. You don't have the right to burn somebody's residence to the ground. And this is why I don't like the Democrats, because they encourage this. They were laughing at Charlie Kirk's assassination. TMZ did it. University professors, teachers. It was mostly women that seemed to cheer that. I noticed. They showed, was it Portland the other day? Bunch of, I'm going to say it, ugly liberal women beating on and had a Trump doll on a stick, and they were tearing it up. Well, that's nice. You guys are condoning violence against a man, but if a man was to do a female effigy like that, oh, he's condoning violence against women. It's amazing how hypocritical the left is. I would never make a doll of Kamala Harris and beat it up because the imagery of all that is not appropriate. I don't like Kamala. I think Kamala is a complete, uneducated clown. How she made it into law, how she made it through law school is beyond me. She can't form a coherent sentence. But I don't support somebody killing her. I don't support making effigies of her and setting them on fire. But the left has encouraged that against Trump. Who was that actress who did the bloody head of Trump? That redhead woman. I didn't see anybody doing that to Biden. We make memes, funny haha memes. None of them were violent. None of them. I wouldn't even put her in charge of a kindergarten class. Yeah, who was that comedian? I forgot her name. What's this Jesus smells, Emily? What's all that? How do you know what Jesus smells like? And you pray, you want us to pray that you're, why are we praying for you to transition? If you're transitioning back to sanity, then I'll pray for you. But if you're transitioning to denying whatever you were biologically born as, I'm going to pray that God wakes you up. That's what I'm going to do. Kathy wait a minute. Yeah, Griffin. I'm thinking Kathy Lee Gifford. No, Griffin. Yeah, that's right. Kathy Lee Gifford. No, she claims to be a Christian. Now, I'm not trying to attack, but she's a flutie too. But don't know where she stands politically. Is it Griffin, yeah. Yeah, I talked about that the other day, Nikki. That's crazy. That is a very creepy sound. I don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear that. Because, boy, this is not the Middle East. And we shouldn't make it to accommodate the Middle East. What I don't like right now, and it's been going on for some time, is the Democrats, the left, they're bringing all these people here that hate our culture, hate our ways, and they want to ram us and kick us to the curb while bringing in these other people. They're going to be an absolute physical and real life threat to us. You let Muslims take over Michigan, they're going to become violent. They will chase and run out or kill the non-Muslims. That's a fact. Dearborn is out of control. Emily, and I'm not kicking you out, okay? I'm not being hateful. I'm not doing that. People need to understand that are going through all this stuff. I was born in a country where that stuff was not, there was no such thing as transitioning. Did not exist. Did not exist. So you're going to tell me all the way up in the 60s and 70s, it was he and she, and all of a sudden we have all these pronouns. And that's being told to us by children. You're gonna come on to some ancient lost secrets that we've missed for thousands of years? I don't think so. I was born a man, I am a man. Yeah, the Muslims are doing that in London. Not a white guy doing a YouTube, and he went through the neighborhood he grew up in. He pulled up at a traffic light. He had a dash cam, and he was recording himself. And a Muslim came up on the crosswalk and said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm driving in what used to be my neighborhood." "You don't belong here. Get out." And he said, "This is a public street." Guy reached in and tried to punch him, the Muslim. When I was at Beth Eden Baptist Church in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, we had a guy that worked in the Pentagon, and his purpose after 9/11 was to find out about the Muslim community and what makes them tick. And he came to speak at our church, how they work in cells in the U.S., how they come in. They're very nice to everybody when they're in a minority, but then they get a neighborhood, and they have babies, and then they have a mosque, and then they have their school. Then they take over the neighborhood. And as they become more number, they start being rude and forcing people out of their hood. They work in what's called concentric circles. Islam is not compatible with our Constitution. That is not my opinion, that's a fact. And Islam is definitely not compatible with biblical Christianity. I don't like it because my belief is I want to see God come in my lifetime. Because do you see Jasmine Crockett changing or backing up? Not at all. They're going to beat that same stupid old drum over and over again. And it's disturbing. That's right. It scares me the thought of Islam dominating me just because I'm a woman. And they go watch some YouTube videos. Go watch Paul Joseph Watson of a British woman's walking, and they're putting these people out in the country towns now. And they're just walking up. 12-year-old girl walking to school, and they're grabbing her butt cheeks, and these Pakis and these people come from other countries are not respecting obvious laws of the land and boundaries. It is dangerous to be a woman in Londonistan right now, or even in the country. They showed a little girl walking to school carrying an axe. That way, if anybody come up, just swing that thing. Now they want to ban the kids carrying axes. Well, you morons bring these dangerous people in, and then you penalize us for trying to protect ourselves. Unbelievable. London's lost it. UK's lost it. France has lost it. And it's just getting worse and worse. Very stupid indeed. Very, very, very crazy. Multiculturalism doesn't work. That almost brings you attention, Japan. They do not have an immigration policy allowing a certain amount of people to come in. They do not. At all. Nor should they. Japan tries to retain their Japanese culture, and there's not a thing wrong with that. Not a thing. And for some reason, the Democrats think that it's in vogue to invite people that hate our culture over here. I think I heard something the other day, Ilhan Omar is worth $3 million now. Wow, for a refugee coming from Somalia, how'd she do that? She never would have been able to pull that off in Somalia. Yeah, Samuel, we don't need to apologize. I know for years I tried to be careful about what I said, but I stopped after moving here. And you can't get through to people that believe lies at all. Well, look, we've had it shoved in our face, the whole Black Lives Matters, and I was talking about how the black people wear their little race-baiting shirts to work. Black and proud, black queen. Honey, you're not a queen. And I want to know why the workplace allows them to do that. If I was to walk in there and say white and proud, or white, no apologies needed, I'd be called in the office for that. Hey, Mr. Russell. Yep, married her brother. I know Trump wants her out of there. She is a rabble-rouser. She's evil. And I will say it. It's too much. That's good. Welcome, Mr. Russell. Black Lives Matter movement is totally corrupt. The women that are in charge of that have bought nice mansions in Laguna. None of them were built by blacks. And this is something I always like to talk about with the black communities. They always want to talk about racism, and go on, and they don't want any of us around, but they want our houses and our cars and our money and our stuff. They didn't make it. They didn't build it. I just find that interesting. And Javon, I am not, and thank you for saying that, I am not in the least racist. I was talking to Mina today and she goes, it doesn't bother you that my skin is tan? I said, why would it? I said, I love the beauty of ethnic women. I like darker skin. I always have. Always. I like some white women too. I'm an equal opportunity appreciator of beauty of women. And I don't discriminate. No one should have to apologize for the ethnic that they were born. Not me, not you, nobody. Every race has their strengths. Every race has their weakness. And that's just the way it is. And instead of competing against one another, as American citizens, we need to unite against this evil that is out of control. And that seems to be the hardest thing for this country to do. They just can't seem to get it straight. And I do not believe our media and our Democrat Party is assisting in making things better at all. They're encouraging all this transition surgeries. They're encouraging racism. Jasmine Crockett and some of these people up there, AOC, Ilhan Omar, are just spewing racial crap. AOC talks about racism. She married a white man. Kamala Harris talks about racism. She married a white guy. She didn't marry a guy from India. She didn't marry a man from the black community. Well, I'll be ding dang. And no matter what I believe politically, if I found a black woman to be the love of my life, I'll marry her and I'll walk down any street in America with her on my arm and people can go and deal with it. Because I'm not ashamed. I'll have biracial hang-ups. Yes. I shouldn't say it this way because it's kind of tacky, but I'm an equal opportunity luster. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian. If you're cute, you're cute. Mina and I talked. She's a wonderful lady. Unfortunately, there's big barriers to me even being a reality, but I like her, she likes me. But I said, this can't be because the immigration and there's too many barriers in the way of making that a reality. And it's sad. But Mina has some very good qualities. And I'm very much attracted to that. Not to mention she's pretty. I've always been fascinated by people across the ocean. Their dialect, their accent, their food, their clothing. It's fascinating. God built within the human genetic code diversity. You go scuba diving and go under the water in the turquoise seas and you see all kinds of beautiful sea life. God did not make us all minions. He did not make Mike Nelson to act like every other white person. And I've struggled with that because you go into a lot of churches, a lot of the whites are the frozen chosen. They don't lift up their voice and sing. They're drab. They read the hymnal. It sounds like the guy on the trumpet of the swan. Nobody understands what he's saying. And white churches like to play this crappy music so loud so you can't even hear the singing. It's ridiculous. When I was in Hong Kong and I sat in a church that was all Filipinas, oh my word, I started crying. They get up and sing all that long, beautiful black hair, and they're singing, and I'm like, wow. And the lady with me said, why you have tears? I said, I've never seen anything like this. These women get up and sing out, and it's beautiful, and I'm moved. I'm sorry. Sometimes church worship is a joke. People all nervous, people all this. What happened? I remember years ago in Duluth, and even in my culture, there was an old man at Temple Baptist Church. He would sit down and play that upright Sunday nights. Man, he made that piano come to life. He'd play the old hymns. And I said to one of the old ladies, I said, man, that guy's good. She goes, I think that's neat. You're a young guy and you like that. I said, I like old stuff. But that man is making that piano have a life all of its own. And he had the joy of the Lord in him. He's a different culture than what you see today, but he loved God and it came through that piano. I like class, classiness. I like beauty. I love the old hymns because they had substance. Hey, toilet brush. Hey, Korean soul, how are you? There's that one. Sparkling like a fountain, higher than a mountain, all sufficient grace for even me, for even me. Broader than the scope of my transgressions, deeper far than all my sin and shame. Matchless name of Jesus, praise his name. I forgot the words, but there's just hymns that come through my mind every so often. It's like powerful. And a lot of this new music today just misses it. It seems like we're suffering in the arts and in the music today. And I agree, there's YouTube artists talking about mental trash. I'm guilty, I've looked at it. Who hasn't? Junk on YouTube that profits zero. Or social media. I'm amazed even at myself. Memes, stupid stuff. All the girls on Reels on Facebook. All of them. Doesn't matter if they're in a village in Africa. Doesn't matter if they're in India. It doesn't matter if they're in the Philippines. Or if they're girls sitting in their bedroom all day. No bra, and they're doing this. And then they turn sideways and you can see the side boob and oops, there goes the nipple. And that's what they do all day. We really have arrived at a point, haven't we? A point. I mean, I'm a guy, I'm like, dang, there's just too much temptation out there. And all these young ladies, they ain't working on this. They're playing that one string guitar that they have, their looks. But what happens when that string goes, dang, they have nothing left. Our society is out of control. This violence. Young people thinking that I don't agree with you, so therefore I'm going to beat you up or shoot you. How about if you don't do either? How if you stop being butthurt and allow somebody else to have an opinion that doesn't agree with you and suck it up for the team and move on? That's called freedom, buddy. You don't have the right to extinguish somebody's life because your feelings are hurt. At all, ever. You don't have a right to go into a Mormon church and crash the place, set it on fire, and shoot it up. I don't agree with Mormonism, but that's their belief system. You don't like it, stay out of there. That's not what America was built on. I listen to Glenn Beck. I know he's a Mormon. I agree with a lot of what he says, but we're not going to talk about Mormonism. He talks on conservative stuff, and I agree with a lot of it. But I want to say it again. This violence is not okay. Period. Well, thank you, Tracy. Well, I'm all right. So I start a new job tomorrow, so I'm trying to gear up for that. It's weird. You know, I have my nerves. You know, I've been out of the saddle enough to knock me good. But it'll be good to get back into a routine, and it'll be good. Well, thank you, Tracy. It's been a heck of a time. But yes, we what have we got? Green beans. I actually did some looking at Kathmandu and Nepal. Like any other country, there's requirements in order to live there. But you can buy, well, I cannot own property, but a house is 17 to 34,000 for a 1,000 square foot home. Now, mind you, they get some big earthquakes over there. And the way they build those homes, that house could crumble to rubble real quick. But it is cheap. They said you can live fairly cheap in Nepal. It's a very interesting culture. Mina told me her mother is actually India. So she's got India-Nepali mix, which gives her the darker skin than some of the normal Nepal. When I say normal, a lot of the Nepalese that I've met in the States have very white skin. She's got more of the India mix in her, and yet she's beautiful. And I like to learn about other cultures, but I've been through this. I lived in Hong Kong, and we think the grass is greener on the other side, and it is not. she wants to leave and come here. Sometimes I want to run away from this culture. It's crazy. I have a friend in Africa, Mabel, that I'd like to see in Zambia. I've got a friend in Thailand I'd like to see. But, you know, the way the world's going, I don't plan for that because, man, I looked. It's $2,000 just to fly from here to there. That doesn't even include the round. That's a lot. One day in 16 hours, just in flights and layovers. I'm sorry. When I flew to Manila in 2018 and when I came back, see, I got to go to Japan from Denver, and because I missed the connecting flight because United Airlines had a screw up, I stayed a night in the hotel, so that was a treat. Just spend a night, get my passport stamped for a night in Japan. The next day I fly to Manila refreshed. Poor gal waited all night at the dang airport, and I had no way to call her. And you know what? I learned something. They had a smartphone in the hotel room, and if I had remembered my trick question for Facebook, I could have got on there and said, hey, I'll be there tomorrow, flight delayed out of DIA. I don't know where you are, what's going on, but I am coming. Could not get into my Facebook. You're logging into your Facebook from a different device. What was your security question? Oh, crap. And she gave me her number, and I tried to dial it, allowed you one international call. And what I did not know is they gave a 0. The 0 you do in her country, but out the country you don't. So I couldn't call. So the next morning when I went to the flight desk for Japan Airlines, I said, do you have any way I can make an international call to this number in the Philippines? Lady said, my phone does international calling. I'll dial for you. She goes, oh, you don't need that. You don't put the 0. Oh my gosh. I called her. I said, Gloria, you there? I'm in Japan. I will be there at 1:30. The flight was delayed. I couldn't call you because I had the wrong number. I'm using somebody's phone. I will be there at 1:30 in Manila. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I heard from you. I'll be here. I'll be here. I will see you. I'll tell you everything when I get there. So, you know, it was interesting. And then I no sooner get on the ground and we get a Philippine taxi to get out the airport. And we get in the car and his phone goes off. His phone is mounted to a dash mount and his phone gives an alert. And he goes, wow, they just had a big earthquake in the Philippines. Damage. Not where we were, but it's like, wow, just happened. Okay. Wow. But I love going to other places. But I think about it now. The airplanes. Nepal. I get on there and says, State Department issued a travel advisory. Please, no non-essential travel to Nepal. Their government is at unrest. That's all I need. Not going. I wouldn't go now anyway with all this other crap going on in my life, but yeah. America has its problems, but this is my home. And if the crap's going to hit the fan, I'd rather be here than over there. Griping, how are you? Got home from work. You are the trainer man. You are the training machine. I'm very glad for you. You've been doing good. You're passing your people, getting them passed, and that's a good thing. Mr. Cripen is a school bus trainer as well as driving bus routes, and he has been doing really good. good old Long Island, New York. And we need to pray for Gripen because he's literally surrounded by a hostile world. Long Island is not conservative, and he is dating a lovely Jewish woman, and she has been and felt the anti-Semitism up there. And as a Christian man, we need to pray for Israel. We need to. This is so funny. I went to the store one day and this is called cha-ching. The oil. Piggy. It's cheaper than the other bottles. I cannot believe that. I used to buy sunflower oil because I thought sunflower oil for seed oil was better. And, this stuff's up to $4. And I know people say seed oils are bad for you. Man, I used to get sunflower oil. That went up. And I didn't know it. That stuff's out of the Ukraine. Olive oil's through the roof. And I use enough oil that, I can't do that. And maybe I should because they're saying over and over seed oils are bad. And I want to thank all of you, Nikki, and all of you, my moderators, my regulars. Thank you for caring and praying. I'm going to be transparent. I'm disgusted with myself and my personal struggle with private sin. It's just, it bothers me. Part of that is because I've been here. And I haven't been very disciplined with all this time off because it was a blow. And I allowed it to just pretty much, send me into the pit of despair. But yeah, deep down inside, I want to be closer to God. I want to be pure in my mind. And I'm not. I'm not at all. Sometimes I think I ought to shut down my Facebook and totally pull off social media. And then what? I like to talk. I believe God's given me a gift to talk. And, getting off social media is not going to make you more righteous. And that's what I talk about all the time, that we have to ask God to change our heart because you can get rid of all these things, but the sin is still there. Your flesh is always going to find a way to indulge itself. Granted, people say, well, the internet's bad. No, it isn't. The internet can be used for both good or bad, but I think we have to admit the internet just reveals the dark stuff that's within us anyway. The internet doesn't make us. Now, we compromise because we're exposed to stuff. I will say that. There's pastors that I heard years ago, they think that if you're struggling with sin, you should just unplug the internet. Okay, you do online banking and you're clocking in on your phone now. Guess what? Everything you do is on the online. You can't do it. Can't do it. Welcome back, Mr. Russell. And Nikki, if I didn't say it, I hope you have a good evening. Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I feel that the devil really loves the internet because we had no choice. I remember years ago saying I will never own a cell phone until I came back from Hong Kong and wanted to talk to all my lady friends over there, which, yeah, if I'd have never gone over there, boy, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things. Excuse me. Hey, Chanel, how are you? And how do we get to the point where we desire God more than the sin? What does it take? Pastor was talking about surrender. That old hymn, I surrender all. How do you surrender your sex drive? I'm not going out and having sex, but lust is there. I mean, it's easy to look at stuff on the internet because you can. You know, how do you stop? How do you just stop that? I mean, it all works when you don't have a desire. Then I don't want to look. And yes, sometimes my libido will stop enough where I'm like, all right, enough. But the whole thing's stupid about the internet. All them women that are posing and dancing and frolicking around, it's not like I got a shot at any of that. I don't. You know, it's all a lie. And I've learned something over the years. Sometimes fantasy is often better than reality. You can lust after that all day long, but you want to be with that? You think that's going to solve all your problems? You know, there's a personality there that you don't see from a picture. There's attitudes and attitudes and struggles and issues. The internet is a trip. It's almost an illusion sometimes. And yet, deep down inside, I'm going to say something that might shock people. I can't just marry anybody. One, because I've been married before. Two, I'm not made for every woman, and not every woman's made for me. And yet, at the same time, I feel like a wife would be a good thing. Not just any wife. Yeah, I'm all right, Chanel, and it's good to see you. Yeah, it's tough. And I'm going to do something uncharacteristic. Lord, I thank you for this day, and I thank you for this group of people in here. Pray, God, that you would help us all with our struggle against sin. I pray that you'd help us get closer to you. I ask you to forgive us of all of our stuff. We pray for what's going on in our country. People that are encouraging and laughing at violence, and we pray that you move your hand against people that are just promoting evil in the halls of power in this country. We pray, God, that you would provide for us, your children, and protect us. Help us to stand when we need to stand. We just pray, God, that you would watch over all of us in Jesus' name. Amen. It's a wicked world. You know, church isn't safe. I'm surprised with all this crazy stuff that people do that nobody's ever tried to target like a stadium event, like a football game or something like that. We're not airtight. We're not airtight at all. And you got wicked people out there scheming stuff all the time. You go to a football game, what? There's 80,000 people in there? And it's funny, I was always told, avoid big crowds. That's when things go bad. You don't want to be in that. I titled the video, Real Talk and Little Boys. You have to be careful. A lot of YouTube artists out there. And just because they got a giant following and got gobs of money coming in, it doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they are thus saith the Lord. That goes for me. That goes for every one of us. Even the best teachers can get out of joint. Even the YouTube artists can be saying things that aren't right. And we all need to use discernment. And yeah, we should be growing closer to God. Sometimes I look at myself and go, boy, I don't see it in my life at all. But I know one thing. I desire to depart from this body and be present with the Lord, because then my attitude will be right, my words will be pure, my thoughts will be pure, and I will no longer struggle with me and all the stuff around me in the world. I think that if you're truly a Christian and you're scared to death to die, you got to ask yourself some questions. When we become a Christian, God gave us eternal life. That started the day you believed. You should not be afraid of death anymore. I want to thank everybody for coming. You guys all have a good evening. And pray for me as I start work tomorrow, and you guys have a blessed night, and Lord willing, we'll see you again tomorrow.